Did you know that some of the vegetables you've trusted your whole life might quietly be doing more harm than good if you're between 60 and 80, and you've been eating vegetables thinking they're always the healthy choice? This video may surprise you because science is now revealing that some common vegetables may actually be silently harming your joints, stiffening your blood vessels, and increasing your risk of heart failure. This isn't about scaring you, it's about protecting you. And the difference between knowing and not knowing could be years of mobility, independence, and health. So today we'll walk through 5 vegetables you may want to avoid, or at least prepare differently. To protect your heart and joints, these vegetables are still part of many seniors' daily diet, but they may be causing inflammation, pain, and sudden health issues. But when you understand what's really happening behind the scenes, you can take control quickly, simply, and without giving up on vegetables altogether. By the end of this video, you'll understand how just a few small changes in your diet can mean fewer hospital visits, less pain, and a longer, stronger life. So if you care about protecting your heart, your joints, and your independence as you age, you're exactly where you need to be. Now let's get into the 5 science-backed vegetables to be cautious about. After 60, number 1, nightshade overload. One of the first hidden mistakes many seniors make is regularly eating too many nightshade vegetables, like tomatoes, eggplants, bell peppers, and white potatoes, without realizing how they might be quietly inflaming their joints. These vegetables contain compounds called alkaloids, which in some older adults can worsen inflammation, especially in joints already worn down by time, or arthritis. The trouble is, many of us grew up thinking tomatoes were hard, healthy, and potatoes were a comfort food. And they are, but not for everyone. And not in large amounts. In your 60s and beyond, your body becomes more sensitive to certain triggers. Nightshades, in particular, can cause swelling or joint stiffness that you might have chalked up to just aging. But it might not be aging and could be your diet. A woman named Dorothy, 72, had been waking up with stiff hands for years. She'd tried creams, medications, even hand braces. But it wasn't until her daughter suggested cutting out tomatoes and eggplants for a few weeks that the swelling finally started to ease. For her, nightshades were the missing puzzle piece from a cardiovascular perspective. Some researchers also point out that nightshades may affect calcium metabolism, which could influence blood vessel health. This doesn't mean they're dangerous for everyone. But if you're eating tomato soup, potato dishes, or stuffed bell peppers every day, and your joints or hearts seem off, it may be time to pause and evaluate small changes like switching white potatoes for sweet potatoes or using zucchini instead of eggplant can make a noticeable difference. The goal isn't to cut everything out, but to tune in as we get older. It's not about eating less, it's about eating right for your body. Number 2, oxalate buildup from spinach and beets. Another vegetable mistake that silently affects many seniors is relying too heavily on high oxalate greens, like spinach and beets, thinking they're doing something great for their body, when in fact they could be quietly contributing to kidney strain and joint pain. Oxalates are natural compounds found in certain vegetables in small amounts. They're usually harmless, but when eaten frequently, in older age, especially when the kidneys are already under a little stress, they can start to cause trouble. Some people notice this in the form of muscle aches, stiffness in the knees or back, or even sharper, uric acid flare-ups, Others might begin developing kidney stones without realizing they're spinach. Smoothie habit could be partly to blame. There was a gentleman named Harold 68 who prided himself on eating clean every morning. He blended raw spinach with beets for breakfast, but over time his uric acid levels crept up, and one day he found himself in the ER with a kidney stone. His doctor gently explained that it wasn't his age. It was the oxalates. Now Harold still eats greens, but he rotates them. Collarded greens, arugula roma, and watercress became his staples. He also learned that lightly steaming spinach cuts oxalate levels dramatically. The message here isn't to fear vegetables. It's to understand them. Some of the healthiest looking foods can become silent triggers when the body changes. And unfortunately, many people over 60 don't realize this until damage has already begun. If you've ever noticed joint stiffness, gut discomfort, or trouble with your kidneys without a clear reason, it might be worth looking at your oxalate intake. You don't have to overhaul your diet overnight. Just pay attention to what your body tells you. And remember, it's not about strict rules, it's about giving your body what it can truly use. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 3, nightshade vegetables that trigger inflammation. There's a group of vegetables that sound perfectly harmless, even healthy, until they're not tomatoes. Eggplants, peppers, and white potatoes belong to what we call the nightshade family. Now, for many folks, these cause no issues at all. But for others, especially those over 60 nightshades, can quietly increase inflammation in the body, particularly in the joints and gut. It's not something you'll notice overnight. The signs are subtle. Waking up with stiff fingers, a swollen knee that won't calm down, or a gut that feels bloated even after a light meal. These symptoms often get brushed off as just age, but that's not the full story. Nightshades contain a chemical compound called soline, which in sensitive individuals can irritate the digestive tract and increase inflammatory responses. And while solanine is found in small amounts, those small amounts add up over time, especially when nightshades are eaten daily. Let me tell you about Grace, a 72-year-old retired teacher who loved her garden and her homemade tomato sauce for years. She assumed her swollen hands were from overuse or arthritis. But after a friend suggested eliminating nightshades for a few weeks, she noticed a surprising change. The pain eased. Her grip returned. Her rings slid on more easily. It wasn't magic. It was just awareness. She didn't stop eating tomatoes altogether, but now she cooks them well, avoids them several days a week, and no longer eats them late at night. That's the kind of wisdom we gain in later life. Not from fear, but from tuning into how our body reacts. If you've been waking up stiff, or if your knees or fingers seem more inflamed than they should be, just try going without nightshades for 10 days. Replace them with sweet potatoes, leafy greens, or zucchini. Then slowly reintroduce them and see what happens. The goal isn't to make food an enemy. It's to stop fighting battles inside your body you didn't know you were fighting at our age. We've earned the right to feel good in our own skin. And sometimes that starts with a simple shift on the plate. Number 4, canned vegetables loaded with sodium and preservatives. Not all vegetables are created equal, and certainly not all forms of them. canned vegetables might seem like a convenient choice, especially when you live alone or don't feel like cooking from scratch. They're quick, affordable, and last forever in the pantry. But here's the catch. Many of them are packed in so much sodium and chemical preservatives that they quietly undo the very benefits vegetables are supposed to offer. Let's take green beans. For example, fresh or lightly steamed. They support heart health and digestion. But when they're sitting in a can with 400 to 800 milligrams of sodium per serving, that's a problem, especially for seniors managing blood pressure or heart conditions. And it's not just salt. Many canned vegetables contain compounds like bisphenol A or BPA from the can lining, which can interfere with hormones, increase oxidative stress, and even affect joint function. Over time, there's a story that comes to mind. Frank, a 78-year-old widower from Ohio, used to stock up on canned corn, peas, and carrots every winter. He thought he was doing his body good, but after a checkup revealed rising blood pressure and unexplained swelling in his ankles. His doctor asked about sodium intake. Frank was surprised when the culprit wasn't chips or processed meats, but his healthy canned vegetables, after switching to frozen or no salt-added versions. And rinsing what he did use, the puffiness eased up and his numbers improved. The big takeaway here is that even healthy food becomes unhealthy when it's been altered too much in our bodies. Especially after 60, don't recover from these insults as quickly as they once did. When your kidneys and cardiovascular system are already working harder with age. That extra sodium and chemical load. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next videos.